Hi guys, welcome to the channel. If you're here because you saw the thumbnail or the title of the video, I can guarantee that by the end of the video, you will be able to get all the tips and tricks which you need to know before you give your IELTS exam and score the required band. If you are new to the channel, we create videos about immigration to Canada and our daily lifestyle here. So if you like the content, please subscribe the channel for regular updates. So let's begin today's video. Let's start the video with the basics. IELTS full form is International English Language Testing System. Obviously, you don't need to know this by heart because it is never asked in the exam. IELTS is actually a test which you need to appear before you plan to immigrate to Canada, be it on a student visa or Canada permanent residency. So IELTS is not the only exam which Canadian government considers for immigration. There are other exams as well. For example, there is CELPIP, which tests your English proficiency, and there is TCF and TEF, which actually tests your proficiency in French. But IELTS is the most common amongst all of these. So that's why I thought I'll make a video on how to score good in IELTS. So as I mentioned before, IELTS is needed both for student visa or for permanent residency in Canada. IELTS exam actually is of two different types. One is general training, another is academic. So if you plan to immigrate for student visa, then you need to appear for IELTS academic. But if you're planning to immigrate using the permanent residency option, then you need to give IELTS general training. In this video, I will focus on the IELTS general training. Now, the IELTS exam itself has 4 different modules: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So each module in IELTS has a band associated to it, and the maximum that you can score in each module is band 9. Now, for Canada PR, you need a minimum of 6 bands in each of these modules. Now, there is a general notion that you need to have 8,777 as your IELTS score for you to get through your permanent residency application, but this is only true up to an extent. Now, 8,777 means 8 band in listening and 7 bands in the other 3 modules, which is reading, writing, and speaking. Now, as I said before, having 8,777 band in IELTS doesn't always get you through. That's because IELTS is not the only factor. Though it's a very important factor, but it's not the only factor in your overall CRS score. So what I mean is, if a person is losing points because of his age, having 8,777 band will not ensure that his application will get through. He might need more bands in IELTS. So it's always case to case. So 8,777 is a very generic notion that we have. Now, I have mentioned it in my other videos as well, but I will again highlight it. IELTS score is really important for your permanent residency application because this is the only thing that can make or break your chance. Because the other factors like your age, your work experience, your education, they are fixed. So the scores for them will not change, but IELTS is something where you can improve your score and then overall change your CRS as well. Let's better understand this with an example. So I'm going to take you to the CRS calculator, which is the official tool for calculating a CRS from the Canadian government. What you see right now is the tool itself, and I'm going to assume somebody who is, let's say, not married and is 26 years of age, has done bachelor's, doesn't have any degree in Canada, and I'm going to pick yes here and choose IELTS. Now, this is all hypothetical, so I'll pick, let's say, 7.5 in speaking, 8.5 in listening, 8 in reading, and let's go with 6.5 in writing. And then for any other test results, we'll pick not applicable, and then we'll go with none or less than a year for the Canadian work experience. And then for foreign work experience, let's say we select 3 years or more. We'll pick no here. There's no job offer, and there's no nomination as well. This is actually the PNP, and there's no blood relative as well, for which you'll get the points. So if I calculate, the overall score for this person is 393, right? Now, let's go back and try and change the score in IELTS. So in writing, where I had 6.5, let's change it to 7, and then just go ahead and recalculate the score. So remember, the old score is 393. Now, if I do the recalculation, you'd see that the score has actually changed to 438. So you can see what difference does it make just by scoring point half in writing. So it was 6.5 earlier, where the overall CRS was 393, and now with 7 in writing, the overall CRS goes to 438. So I hope this explains you the importance of IELTS in this whole process. IELTS is conducted by two different organizations. One is British Council, second is IDP. You can pick anyone that you want. The process to book IELTS exam is fairly simple. You can go to either British Council website or IDP, whichever you want to go with, and you need to register, and then you can go ahead for the exam. Recently, they introduced computer-based exam as well, and during COVID, there were a few changes as well. I'm not really sure what changes they did, because now the exam centers are reopening, so everything is coming back to normal. The fees for IELTS exam is about 13,500 INR. Now, there's a lot of argument and discussion around which one's better between British Council and IDP, but I can tell you from my own experience, because I have appeared myself in both. I really don't see any difference amongst both of them, because the exam pattern, everything else is the same. The only difference is the organization that's conducting it. So if I appeared from British Council and I did not score good, but then later I appeared from IDP and I scored good, then obviously I will say that IDP is better. But there are people who would say vice versa. So as I mentioned, there is no difference. You can pick anyone that you want. Now, when you book the IELTS exam, the listening, reading and writing section happens on the same day. But for speaking, there is always a separate day. Now, your speaking module can happen prior or after the other three modules. That is decided by the organization, British Council or IDP, that you decide to go with. And you definitely get emails couple of days before about the test date for your speaking exam. Now, if I talk about my case, I gave IELTS back in 2017 when I was applying for Canada PR. So I scored 8.5 in listening, 8 in reading, 7.5 in writing, and 8 in speaking. So the overall score was 8. So I will talk about all the tips and tricks that I used when I appeared for my IELTS exam, which will help you get a better score. As the IELTS exam is divided into 4 different modules, I've decided to make 4 separate videos, one for each module, where I'm going to discuss the tips and tricks and the exam pattern as well. So please stay tuned to the channel and subscribe if you haven't done that already, and also hit the bell icon so that you're notified whenever I'm posting those videos.